still be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready.
Hey cuties, and welcome back to another CC haul. Today I once again have over 100 new CC items for both your male and your female Sims for you. As always, you can find links to everything in the description down below, and I do CC related videos every single Friday. We are a day late today, but let's not talk about that. Next week we hopefully have a CC haul for kids, toddlers and infants again, so if you don't want to miss out on that and you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. But without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. Make sure you grab a snack, grab a drink, grab whatever you need to be comfy for the next few minutes. Let's just, sit back, relax, talk about life. I hope you're all doing well. I think I am getting a little sick. I don't know if anyone else has this, but I feel like I don't ever get sick. I don't know how else to call this. Like, I'm never flat out where I can only lay in bed and I'm like feverish or super dizzy or anything. I feel like it's always just kind of like getting there. It's like what people feel the day before they feel really sick is me being sick. And it's so weird because sometimes I'm like, am I just like somehow suppressing it? Because I remember from times where I had to like perform a lot, so like where I worked a lot or when I was at school and there were exams, stuff like that, I would remember that I would not get sick until that one event was done. And after that, I would get so sick for like 2 weeks, but like the type of sickness where you actually have to stay in bed and rest. And right now, maybe I'm just not getting the relief because technically there's always something I have to get done. So I don't know. I might just be very stressed as well, but I was starting to get a bit of a fever. I feel like this is so different for everyone as well. Like body temperature, I always measure it under my armpit and I'm usually like 35.5 degrees Celsius. And the other day it went up to like over 37, which for other people is like completely normal. But for me, that is like so high and I started feeling so bad. Kind of like a bit shivery, sweaty, like cold sweat, dizzy. My throat started hurting. That was like 2 days ago, I think. And now it's fine. Like when I wake up, I feel all right. And then as the day progresses, it keeps getting like a little worse at a time. And I don't understand why that is. I have no idea. And I would like to just get rid of it because I do have an exam in like 1.5 weeks. Not very well prepared for it, but we're getting there. Okay, I'm doing my best. But I'm kind of in one of those phases. I feel like January was so hard for me this year. I don't know what it was. It's never the best month for me. And then coming out of Christmas and having like a lot going on at Christmas and a lot of like social things going on as well. And I feel like when there's big gatherings, I'm always kind of the one trying to keep everyone happy and stopping everyone from arguing and like listening to all the sides to be like, maybe there was a misunderstanding, stuff like that. Okay. So always kind of like the bridge between people, and that gets to me very exhausting. I pick up on like little things very quickly, so after that I'm just so exhausted. So I think January is already a bit hard for me every single year, and then it's also my mom's and my sister's, and it would have been my dad's birthday as well in January. So there's just like a lot going on. Then it's my uncle's birthday in February. Like, to be honest, November through February in my family is so busy. Like, I swear the only two people that are born outside of that are my boyfriend and my grandma. Like, those are the two people that were born in summer, and everyone else was born between November and February. So that time period is just crazy busy. There's just so much going on. Then we also, this is so nerdy and I absolutely love it, my older cousin has been doing like pen and paper rounds. Would you say rounds? We say that in German. I have no idea what you would just call a group of people, maybe a pen and paper groups. And he has been like game master. So if you don't know anything about it, it is kind of like a video game, but instead of having the world on like your PC or on a console, it's kind of all just imagined, and you have one game master who develops the whole world and like explains it to you, and he or she or they are kind of the whole world, like every single character you meet, every single enemy you meet, the world building, like all of that is down to them, and then you kind of just roll your dice when you attack or try to convince someone or whatever. So it's kind of like open, just an open world simulation game, and you can do a bunch of things with it. And I've only ever played a one-shot adventure, which means you do it all in one sitting with my cousin and my younger cousin, my uncle, and my sister. So we're gonna do that, but like a longer version now, which I'm very excited about. But I could tell, like, oh my god, like sometimes I don't feel like having I don't feel my ADHD. It's kind of like in the background, but in situations like that, I was like, oh my god, how could I have not noticed this for so long? Because when we were creating our characters, so much goes into it. Like, there's a huge rule book, and then you have to look at so many different things and read so many different things. And like, at first I was hyped. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be so interesting. And then I actually went into it and I was like, I can't, like, I could not focus. And everyone was talking at the same time, and I just kind of sat there and I was like, can someone just do this for me? Like, I do not know how to function right now. Like, there was no way I could have read all of it and like put it in a spreadsheet and decided on things. That there were so many different skills that you could pick and like things you had to read through, and it was just a wall of text, which for my brain I cannot do. Like, if it's organized well, I think that's why I like actually organizing my CC holes, because it's not as overwhelming. It's all in like categories, so I feel like I'm doing little bit of organization at once, and it's not all in one list, you know, from link 1 to 200, because I feel like that is when I make mistakes, where I just mess things up. But when it's like split up into groups, it's nicer, like I can see it better. And with like walls of text, it's also bad for me because I kind of skip things, and then I am at the bottom of the text and I'm like, I don't understand what happened, because obviously I skipped half of it, so I have no context. And that happens to me in exams as well, which I don't know how to get better at it, because my brain, my ADHD brain is literally like, oh my god, this is so much like information, let's just skip through. Well, I'm sure we'll pick everything up, but in an exam situation where you actually need to read it and understand it, it is so misleading at times, because I read it wrong, or I just read a word as the opposite word. I don't know how I do that, but I've done that ever since I went to school. Like, I just do silly little mistakes where I know the answer, but I just read the question wrong, and it is so annoying, and I don't really know how to change that. Because I remember at school when we would do, I don't even know what you call those tests at school, where your teacher reads out some text for you and you have to write it down without seeing it. No idea what you call them in English, but with those I would always make so many silly mistakes, and teachers would be like, we know that you know how to write these words, or like listen to the sentence and actually write it down, but I could not reproduce it because it was just maybe 20 minutes of someone reading something out to me and me having to write it down. And I think as a child I was just so bored of it that I just wanted to like quickly get through it and done with it. So it was very hard for me to sit through, and they were always like, just go over what you wrote again, like look at it, find your mistakes. And I could never do that. I still can't. Like, I don't know how people can see their own mistakes, because for me, I think I just am not attentive enough, which obviously is the ADHD. So hey, there we go. Figured it all out. It's just, what is the solution? Because I have to find a solution for it. I just do not know. I mean, if you do have ADHD and you have a great method for it, let me know. Because I struggle with that so much. Just like my inattentiveness is going crazy at times. That is that though. Like, how did we even get here? I felt there was something I was going to tell you and then I completely forgot. But hey, this is chaos as always. But yeah, I am feeling a little under the weather, you could say. I hope that is the saying. I always get that one wrong, and it's so funny because like sayings in different languages, it's such a peculiar thing because they don't make sense, right? That's like it's not the point of sayings, but I feel like in every language you have these sayings that do not make sense. Like in German we have a thing where if you got lucky in a situation, you would say you've got pig, which makes no sense. But I think I read up on it. It was because back in the days when you took part in a competition, like the prize for the person who did the worst was a pig, so they still had something, and it was actually quite good to get a pig. So there we go. I think that's where it came from, but they all make no sense theoretically, so I feel like learning them, you just need to learn them. And like in German, obviously, if someone messes one up, you can hear it, you're like, that's not the saying. But in English, because I obviously didn't grow up with the sayings, you could tell me anything and I'd be like, oh, okay. Like that could be a saying. I don't know, like you could make me believe anything was a saying that people say, and I'd just be like, okay. I guess so. It's so funny, like I want to know what sayings are in other languages. So if you speak another language outside of German or English, let me know. Or even English, I probably don't know most of the English sayings either. If you have a funny one and you're still here, hello. Well done. Let me know what they are, because I think it's so interesting. It's just, they're so funny and random, which I love. My type of humor is like, the more random something is, the more it makes me laugh, because it just catches me off guard. Because some jokes I feel like are very obvious, so I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense, like that people would say that in this situation. But the more unhinged and like out of context and random something is, the more I'm like, what? And I just think that is what makes me laugh the most. Maybe because I think so much, so I'm like always 3 steps ahead of everything. Or maybe that's just like when something catches me off guard, I'm like, hold on a minute, what? But I love that. Also, I love the CC in today's video. I was going to talk about it at the beginning. There was like a lot of cute undie sets, which I am so hyped about, because when I recorded the video of my favorite male and female CC of last year, I was kind of noticing that it's very hard for me to find new underwear outfits. Like it's all kind of stuff I've had in my game forever. And like, I think 3 different CC creators came out with like an undie set for both male and female Sims, and it's like so cute. Some of, oh my god, like Serenity, their colors recently have just been divine. Like that color palette is everything. There's like a really nice beige tone and like pinkish tone, but also some orange and like a green that I absolutely adore. I don't know, but like they just go crazy with the color palette lately. I've just been enjoying it so much. But anyways, the video is coming to an end real soon here. Let me not lose myself in this again. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you all next time. Bye!